we're starting.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to What Drives Us, episode 300 for December 5th, 2018. Let me repeat that one more time. Episode 300 for December 5th, 2018. My name is Russell Frost. I am your host this evening for another adventure into what drives us fun and excitement. And look down here. Look down here. We have not only regular panelists, we have special guests. We have special guests from all over the world. In fact, oddly enough, in some senses, nice. The Americans are outnumbered here. So let's celebrate this amazing international cast. Let's introduce everybody, and then we'll get on with the shindig. My wingman on this show, you might know him as no, that's not him.
No, I mean, Evan totally beat me to this.
I'm just going to say,
I had Evan queued up.
Tonight we dine in hell, and it is not Gerard Butler, it is Tony Schaefer.
It's nice. So Evan and I are on the same
yes.
on the same thoughts here.
It's very, very scary.
Yes, number 300. Hey, everybody. And not only do we have chat members on the show, we already have a fully populated chat room on the side. So welcome, everyone. Welcome to show 300. It's going to be a great show.
And if not, don't blame me. Yeah. No, wait, blame me because it's probably my fault.
Why not?
Why not? Next to him is our friend in Canada. I like to think of him as the nicest guy on the show, Mr. Diete Pepsi, Mark Coughlin.
Everybody's drinking today. That's for sure. Welcome to 300. Who thought you get to 300? Unbelievable. What a milestone. Congratulations.
When we were back in the single digits, I never thought we'd get past 50. I figured if we got to a year, it would be a miracle. Okay? 9 years later?
Counting after a while. Yeah.
It's insane. It's insane. Let's see. Next to him, he looks like a dual blue avatar. He just has a circle for a head and sort of a shape for a body. It says John. He is the president of Canada, but we like to call him John B. Welcome, John.
Hey everyone. Hey, nice to be back after a rather long hiatus. Man, 300?
Yeah. What do we have to do to get you back, John? I mean, come on.
Apparently, number 300 got me back.
Apparently have a couple hundred shows, yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Sorry, I ditched at 50. So.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for coming back.
Is that really your last show, John?
I honestly don't remember.
Yeah, it might be. I'll kick his ass next time I see him, which, who knows. Next to him is our man in Missouri. He has a couple of Teslas and a pretty badass sword. I like to call him Dr. Evan Fusco.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to show 300. I've probably been on, maybe 100 of them? Somewhere in there.
Dude. Are you kidding me?
Well, I miss a lot.
You've been on at least a couple of hundred.
All right. Maybe so. But anyway, it's good to have everybody on tonight. It's going to be a fun show.
I hope so. I'm drinking. So it's going to be fun either way, right? Our last regular panelist is our man in Boulder, Colorado, the founder and operator of BoulderHC.com, Mr. Paul Guzik.
Hey, happy 300, everybody. And in honor of Russell, I'm drinking Surly beer. So after a few of these, I turn into Russell.
Oh, you're going to get significantly uglier as the evening goes on. Is that it?
Wow.
That is so brutal. So brutal. And with us tonight, we have two very, very special guests. And who knows, maybe some more may pop in. But for now, we are blessed to have this one. Our first one is a friend of ours from Canada. He, in fact, I don't want to say is Mark's next door neighbor, but he lives near Mark, Mr. Eric Stevens.
Hello. How's everybody doing tonight?
Very good.
As well as we can, Eric. I mean, we're here. We didn't get a better offer, so.
To celebrate tonight, I'm drinking Puppers. It's the official beer of Letterkenny. For anybody who's familiar with that the television series. The producers from the town I live in here in Listowel. So
Puppers?
Puppers.
Does it taste like dog?
No,
Like dog piss.
it's pretty good.
Oh, wow. That's so... I love that. Puppers. Well, there it is. Okay. And last and definitely not least, in an entirely different hemisphere, in fact, it's 3:00 tomorrow where he is. He's actually talking to us in the past. Thank you so much for joining us all the way from New Zealand, Mr. Bruce Johnson.
Greetings from the future.
Is Trump still president?
Is there a light at the end of the tunnel?
Not there, he's not.
No, unfortunately, nothing's changed in the next day. I'm sorry.
More importantly, Bruce, do you have those lotto numbers?
Yeah.
I just could never get them back there in time.
Yeah.
But yes, thank you for being on the show. Looking forward to it.
Thank you so much, both you and Eric, for coming on and joining us. I had heard a rumor that Danny Cooper was going to be on the show. And I look down and I don't see Danny Cooper's face. So I have to acknowledge that this originally was Danny and I, sort of equal partners in this. We started this show and we did the first 100 or so shows together. I'm sad he's not here. So Danny, but we love you anyway. And come on again soon. It's your show. You're welcome. Let's see what else.
Well, that might be interesting to talk about, Russell. Tell us about how it started. Like what were the original ideas on it? Because he was running. That was the kind of the heyday of Prius Chat.
Yeah, very much so.
And kind of pre a lot of EVs out there. It was just sort of
so back in the day, right? We're talking. So this show started January 20th, 2009. And Danny and I had known each other just sort of not well, but email correspondence kind of thing. Danny ran PriusChat.com, which was a huge Prius owners site, a forum. I ran PriusOwnersGroup.com, which was a small news and commentary site. What a surprise. Danny ran a big forum for lots of people, and I just popped off about the news. Yeah. So Danny and I both were super interested in not just Prius, but the whole category, this emerging category in 2009 of hybrids and alt fuel. I mean, at that point, that included, like veggie oil cars and also biodiesel.
Yeah. I remember talking about the French fry oil run biodiesels. We talked about that just a bit.
Those cars smelled so good. Oh my God, those cars. I remember Tour de Sol, there was a college, I don't remember what college it was, that was right across. I had Prius Owners Group had a booth at Tour de Sol in Saratoga Springs, New York. And right across from me was a college that had a veggie oil converted, I think it was a Mini. And they just let that thing idle and it smelled like freaking ass French fries all day. Horrible, because I love French fries. So it was really Danny and I we wanted a creative outlet where we could talk about stuff that we were interested in that wasn't just limited to Prius. So that's where it started.
At that time, just to kind of give some perspective, only about 500 of the original Tesla Roadsters had been delivered.
Oh yeah.
That point, right? I mean, and EV1 was dead, so there's a lot of hoopla around that, but there was not much. There were no Nissan Leafs. I don't think there were even any plug-in hybrids being mass produced then.
No.
I don't think there were. So times have really changed and evolved, and it's been a fun journey, kind of being part of this show, watching and discussing and arguing and seeing what of our revelations came true and predictions came true and where we were wrong. It's been pretty interesting.
And Russell, I have to say, I was kind of sitting here kind of waiting for you to because What Drives Us is a pretty cool name.
Okay, so a couple of things about that. Like I'll look for that when I have a chance. I'm an artist. I'm a visual guy, a photographer. I think with my eyes. So the first thing I did when we had this thing was come up with some logos, and it was going to be something green because duh, right? Because it was 2009 and it was green. Everything was green. But we didn't really have a good name. It was like we couldn't figure out what we were going to call it. It was something with Danny Cooper and Russell Frost, which is not exactly a memorable title. So we talked to our friend Tony Schaefer. Tony, do you want to fill in the rest?
Yeah, we had a call, almost like this. It was I don't know. I remember if it was a hangout or what, and we were just talking about this thing we wanted to do, and I must have been drunk because I just said, well, what about something we're really interested in about driving and things that we're personally, what about what drives us? And it just stuck.
I mean, as soon as it came out of your mouth, Cooper and I, as I recall, Cooper and I were both, that's it. That's better than anything I've thought of. Because I don't even remember what the alternatives were.
It
was something like Car Talk with, it wasn't Car Talk, but it was
amazing. And that was the last good idea Tony ever had.
Fair enough. All right. See ya.
No. Bruce, I'm just curious because you were an early listener. Like, any big difference, I mean, between then and now?
Well, there's video now.
Yeah, we can see each other.
It was audio. Yeah, I mean, like you say, it was just such a different time. It was all press, because it came, I came across this from press chat. And that was even actually before I brought the press, because I didn't buy that until I came back to New Zealand. But yeah, I mean, it was all potential then. There was, like like you even said, the Roadster had only just come out. There was, it was more, hybrid stuff and where we wanted to go. But yeah, when you think about what's on the market now compared to then, it's just mind blowing.
Yeah, it's I mean, I remember as being a Prius owner where people would stop you in parking lots back then and ask you about your car.
Roll down windows at stoplights.
Oh, sure. I heard those only go 30 miles an hour. Yep, that's absolutely true, sir.
Where do you plug it in?
Yeah, you have to plug it in, right? Yeah, absolutely.
Every day. And it was, like you said, it was only audio then, and that gave us some liberties, I guess.
That's an understatement.
Yeah. So some of our early shows were an hour and a half, or if we got on a roll, 2 hours.
Wow.
And it was really because you didn't have to sit and stare at a monitor, stare at a computer for 2 hours. And I would come home from work and I would pull up the news and I would read through the news, and then I would forget that I haven't eaten yet. So I would go down and grab something. I would do the show, mute my mic, eat my dinner, and then come back on. I mean, it was that kind of stuff that we got away with because no one could see what we were doing.
Right. Well, and we would come on. Typically, here's the way the show went back in the early days. We would come on. We would start the people on the show that night would start coming on about a half an hour before. Sometimes some people later, some people earlier, but I mean about a half an hour early. We would talk and make jokes and blah, blah, blah. And then we'd do the show. And then after the show, it wasn't uncommon. We'd be on for another half an hour, 45 minutes. And I would call little sound bites from those before and after show things. When I redid the show, that was the B-roll at the beginning of the show. It was just sort of nonsense of us saying, innuendo and double entendre and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think
I miss that.
I kind of do too. And I'm like, we used to spend more time before and after the show than we do on the show now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And then going through and picking out the sound bites must have taken a lot of time too.
Yeah, it was horrible.
Yeah,
I mean, you know what? I have a method that I'm never going to disclose how I did that, but for the first couple of dozen episodes, I would spend 3 to 4 hours editing the show. And it was horrible. Later on, I wasn't so careful, and it didn't take that long to edit the show. Actually, putting together the B-roll was kind of fun because you just start grabbing things at random and magic happens.
Mhm.
Magic happens. Paul, I think our first contact was, did I contact you for an interview with Three Prong Power?
Oof. I don't remember. That was a generation ago.
Excellent. So maybe we met on the street. Who knows?
Yeah, I'll tell you, the first time I had any interaction with Paul, I actually had no interaction with Paul. But so I think we had met on this show like once, and my wife and I were going to vacation in Boulder, and Paul said, "Hey, I'm flying out the week that you're flying in, and I'm going to have my car parked in the parking garage there at the airport. I'll just mail you a key, and you just drive the car around while I'm out of town." And like that was my introduction to Paul Guzik, who said, "Just drive my car around while I'm not in town." And that was the most incredible thing like ever.
It was a shitty Gen 1 Prius, though. It wasn't like a new Tesla or anything.
Right, and it did shock me every time I got out. But
it shocked you?
Well, you know, it was one of those hack jobs by someone who rebuilds cars. So, you know, what do you expect? No,
It didn't shock him.
I'm kidding.
Wow. It's so weird. I mean, over the years, you know, a lot of Jason Holder was a listener who was just annoying and in our face and wonderful and super knowledgeable. And Jason was on, I don't know, 100 shows or so. But he, that's how we got to meet him. I think, Mark, same thing. You were a viewer, right?
I was a viewer, and Russell had me hooked the day that he called his dealership rat bastards. And I said, I got to talk to this guy. He's giving us the straight deal.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, the Prius Connection Detroit. And that's where I met Danny for the first time. I met Evan. I met Tony for the first time. That was 2009, January?
Yeah, for the 2010 third gen Prius reveal.
Yeah. Whoa.
Wow.
Who has a gong? That was beautiful. So,
I am desperately, Russell, I'm desperately trying to find a picture that you posted so many years ago.
Of?
It's a screen grab of iTunes. Do you remember what it was a screen grab of?
Oh, geez. Yeah, I think it was the first time we were featured.
Well, yeah, it was the iTunes podcast listing.
Yeah.
And in the category of automotive, What Drives Us was listed like number 2 of up and coming shows.
And we've gone nowhere but down since then. So beautiful. It is so beautiful. And that's actually not true, but yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll look for that too, but I don't want to get too far off track.
Right. No,
because I could spend the entire show looking for old pictures because, hey, I got them. Let's see. So what else? I mean, early days. Yeah, it was audio only up until, oh gosh, I'm trying to think, show 125, 130, somewhere around there. And then we went video. And that was a big deal. What does Tony got or Evan got? Oh, from the Prius Connection.
John B.
In 2009. There's John B. What am I thinking? Yes. A youthful John B. Now he's old. He doesn't look anything like that.
God, no.
Don't be all quiet, John. Come on. Defend yourself.
I think beside me was a USB-C Wolf. Who else? Oh, the photo's gone.
Oh, here, I'll bring it back here.
Sure. Who else was on that?
I don't know.
You know, I forget the person at the end there.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Here's
Forrester, maybe. Oh yeah, Doug and
Wayne or
Oh God, no, Wayne! Don't.
Not Wayne, not that Wayne.
Fire engineer.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh yeah. How's that? There's our original logo. That's
Wow.
that
Stand
is
down to
horrible. But yeah,
Eggs
about
and
that
ham.
yeah, you forgot about it. It's like it's like an egg that's gone bad. It's just terrible. What was I thinking? There's some kind of it's green and it's
Green eggs and ham.
yeah. Who knows? Who knows?
Hey, Phil in the chat room wants to know where all the hydrogen cars are that were promised to us in 2009.
right where we said they'd be.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That drum we've been beating since 2009 and have not been wrong.
Yeah, Tony, I don't know if this is it or not.
No, they're in the Faraday Future Factory.
They're in the Faraday. Yeah.
It's only 20 years away.
Oh, poor Faraday announced some more furloughs today too. Those poor
see
sad
that.
son of a bitches. There you go, Tony. Is that?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Well, there's new releases.
Yeah.
I think there was another one, but yeah, there's an old version of iTunes. Quick,
I know. Look at that iTunes. Holy
when iTunes still worked. That's how old we are.
yeah, but there we are, featured right there on the
Right there on the front. New releases. Yeah. Just to prove that, yeah, we've actually been here for a while. There's like so many other pictures and stuff in here that I don't want to get too hung up in that. There's a picture of Tony. Why is that? I don't know. It's too much, Tony. So let's see. So what else? Audio only. Then we went to video. Then we had the chat room. Look at all the people in the chat room. What's going on in there, Tony? I mean, Eric and Bruce are here, so I'm thinking
yeah, it's empty. No,
it's total chaos in there.
no. So yeah, starting out, people were counting the Canadians. Which, and yeah, David and I were going back and forth in 2009, back when Honda had decent hybrids. APH and the CRX. And David's got a I always say this wrong. A Yingling, whatever. Yingling. You know what I'm talking about. What is it? The oldest beer brewer in the United States?
It's a brewery in Pennsylvania.
That's the name of a panda bear at the Cincinnati Zoo.
No, it is not Lingling. It's Yingling.
Yeah, and
although
then,
actually, I don't mind lager so much. So
yeah, and then the where all the hydrogen cars, Phil asked, and then David said the same place they'll be in 2050. Yeah.
Mostly in our imaginations.
Yeah, yeah.
There's been discussions on the New Zealand EV owners forum. Someone posted something where the ports of Auckland here, so major city and major port, are looking at creating hydrogen plant and blah blah blah, and it's just mind blowing. And the government has just put in some money into researching hydrogen, and it just I scratch my head.
I don't know. Apparently, we have to have follies. If we don't have follies, then we're not exploring every avenue.
Yeah.
That's always what the hydrogen. Well, we need to explore every avenue. Why? Llama dung is probably a bad idea to power a motor vehicle. We don't need to go down the llama dung way. Just like hydrogen. Yeah, whatever. Right? How many times do I need to go on that rant?
I don't know, but it's never stopped you.
Fair enough. Speaking of B-roll, that's what it looked like originally. That's me editing the B-roll in GarageBand for one of the shows. Apparently episode 71. Wow. And that's what it looks like. That's just the first minute and a half of the show.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Okay. Literally the first 2 minutes of the show is that. Wow. So yeah, I kind of overdid it a little bit.
Yeah.
But those shows are funny, and that B-roll, I still crack up whenever I hear old B-roll. So
yeah, and I never understood how you were able to split out the audio and everything. I have no idea how you did that.
Because I'm magic.
I know, apparently.
That's all I got. I'm going to leave it at that. Yeah, I'm magic, man.
Yep. Yeah.
Should we do some news? Should we talk about something, or do you want to keep? Eric and Bruce, you are our guests. You are our honored guests on the show. What would you like to talk about?
I got a news topic, actually.
Bring it.
All right.
Last Friday, I actually got to visit Chrysler Windsor Assembly.
Oh,
and, and got to take a tour of their facility. There, they make the Pacifica Hybrid.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And but they make all versions of the Chrysler Pacifica there and the Dodge Grand Caravan. And it was a rather impressive facility. They were running 3 shifts, 5 days a week, and they were producing 1,240 vehicles a day on that one line.
Wow.
And no indication of them shutting it down like GM is doing with their plants?
No, not at all, actually. Well, they're busy. They're busy. That's the only place in the world they make that. They were prepping to make some of the Waymo cars, actually, for the self-driving vehicles there, too. So they were ramping up production of the hybrid because Waymo's buying the hybrid Pacificas. So.
Wait. Let's.
I thought they
back
were
up.
buying Chevy Cruises.
Yeah, I zoned out there. Waymo is driving, getting the Pacifica hybrids.
The PHEV.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what they're using in Phoenix.
I did not know that. That's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
they
did
bought
know
a couple
that.
thousand of them or something like that.
Dang. I am just starting to see commercials for the hybrid. Around here, like they've been out for 2 years now or something, and for the first time, I'm now starting to see commercials. I really wish they would push those a little more.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's a fantastic vehicle, actually. I've had the opportunity to sit in one and drive it, and it's a pretty nice vehicle.
Yeah.
You've driven it?
Yeah.
I've seen it, but that's as close as I get. Wow. Well, Bruce, we should give you a topic chance. Anything exciting in New Zealand you want to talk about, or anywhere you want to talk about?
Don't know. Nothing. I mean,
What's the price of gas down there?
Oh God.
Well, it's coming down because the New Zealand dollar's sort of gone up. About $2 a litre.
Ouch.
So what's that in American?
It's like $8.
Yeah.
It was up around 230, 240 about a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
With oil up and the New Zealand dollar down, but now that the US dollar's gone down a bit versus us. But hey, I don't care. I drive a Leaf.
Do you have solar, or is it just electricity a lot cheaper?
No, electricity's quite expensive here still, probably compared to, say, like when I lived in BC, we were paying like 8 cents a kilowatt or something. Here it's 27.
Ooh.
Yeah, so it's, but of course it's still ridiculously cheaper than petrol. So, yeah, the wind's still there. And right now, EVs still have exemption from road user charges, so there's no per kilometre tax on it. So New Zealand has this weird thing where there's fuel tax built into the price of petrol, but not diesel. I think historically because a lot of diesel was used on farms or whatever. So diesel vehicles or other non-petrol vehicles that you drive on the road, you then have to basically buy kilometres, so pay something called road user charges, which is a per kilometre rate. So the only incentive in New Zealand to buy an EV right now is that EVs are exempt from road user charges until they reach either 2% of the vehicle fleet or 2022, whichever comes first. And right now I think 2022 will come first. But yeah, one of the interesting things here is that there's unlike say you guys with your federal tax credit and the stuff in Colorado and California and that there's no incentives, upfront incentives to buy EVs here. So the only saving grace has been that New Zealand imports a lot of second-hand vehicles from Japan because we are right-hand drive. So historically, New Zealand for the last 30 years, huge proportion of the cars in New Zealand are Japanese, so they're JDMs. So yeah, all probably 95% of Leafs in New Zealand are second-hand Japanese. In fact, you still can't buy a New Zealand new Leaf. Just saying, don't sell They sold them initially in 2011, and they were like 70 grand each or something for a Gen, the original. Funnily enough, they didn't sell. So yeah, it's a funny market here because most of our EVs either come from the UK or from Japan. Only recently, Hyundai have sold the Ioniq and now the Kona. BMW have started now selling the i3. But yeah, up until very recently, you basically couldn't buy a New Zealand new EV. They've all been brought in. Tesla's now on the market here. But for a while there, they were all coming in from Australia. The first, Roadster and Model S were imported from the UK. But yeah, hopefully the government has mentioned that they are coming out with some EV incentives shortly, but nobody knows quite what they are.
And if you get a JDM Leaf, do you have to change the touchscreen to English, or is it in Japanese, or how does that work?
Still in Japanese. No one's cracked it. Somebody here's cracked. Someone's cracked the dash cluster, so now all of the dealers do conversions of the dash cluster. So we've got English dash clusters now, but for a long time they didn't have even that. But the head units, no, they're still Japanese. Some people have brought in some US ones, but it ends up being $1,000, and you still don't have nav, and the radio frequencies are off by 0.1. Which is better than because Japanese radio frequency is off by 14 megahertz. So you got to move. So you have a band expander that moves it, but it's still wrong. Yeah, but you just live with that because you have to. So you Google Translate.
And are there any incentives for carpool lanes or anything with EVs down there?
They tried them up in Auckland and then lasted probably about 6 months as a trial, and then they pulled back from it, mainly because the EV owners, and it was dumb because it was sort of really only merge lanes and a very limited thing. But it also, and I'm not sad they did that because there was a fair bit of backlash about why do EV owners get that, whatever. So I think for the advantages, it wasn't worth the bad press. So I'm sort of glad that they backed. There needs to be better. The biggest problem here is there's no upfront reduction. So, yeah.
Hey, David in the chat room wants to know if there are any Chevy Volts in New Zealand.
There's 12.
And you know all the owners.
And they just showed up on the shore one morning.
But
that does happen down there.
Yeah, there's a story, right? So they came in under the Holden brand. So Holden is Australia GM. So yeah, so Chevy made some right-hand drive Volts, but they came into the country. They were $85,000 New Zealand.
Oh my God!
For a bloody Volt. Funnily enough, they didn't sell very well.
I can't imagine why.
But yeah, I've seen one. I've seen one in the wild, but I know that there's 12. Well, that's what I've heard. Is 12 got sold in New Zealand? I don't know, because the other problem is sort of with all of the car companies, we're the New Zealand car companies are sort of subsidiaries of Australian car companies. So, and Australia's got horrible EV penetration. So, part of the problem with Nissan or whatever is that they can't sell. I mean, how bad was this? Was part of the reason. So when Nissan first brought out the Leaf and they brought them into Australia, they couldn't sell them in Australia. So in 2015 in New Zealand, they were still selling 2011 Leafs as new.
Jeez.
Wow.
So people were buying in 2015 thinking, and so they thought they were buying, well, what we sort of unfortunately down here call Gen 2, but basically the original Leaf with the Lizard battery. And yeah, so people were buying these things thinking that they had the Lizard battery, and they didn't. They were the original old Leaf. So Nissan got a whole lot of battery, and basically, and they had horrible battery degradation on them because they've been sitting in warehouses in Australia for years, not being used, and then so they couldn't sell them in Australia, and then finally the EV market was picking up in New Zealand, so Nissan went, yeehaw, we can get rid of these. And so yeah, there's a bunch of those floating around that have a registration date of 2014, 2015. and the 2011 Leafs. It's ridiculous.
Wow.
Well,
I mean,
I know, Chelsea didn't make the show tonight, but I believe she's did a tour through New Zealand.
Leading the charge
a couple years ago. Yeah, and I know there's a good movement down there to try to get better EV penetration, but slow going. I take it.
Oh yeah, I mean the figures I've got here, like at the beginning of 2015, there was 539 electric cars, including plug-in hybrids, in New Zealand, and most of those would have been Leafs. And now we're at 11,255.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's exponential growth right now, and that's with no government subsidy. So we've been really lucky that we've got a private company who, Stephen D. West, who started up a company called ChargeNet, and he made his money out of software development and DJ software. And he's pretty much put his money into creating a charging network. So now we've got a charging network of, I think there are about 130 chargers now. So you can drive. So the goal was to be able to drive in a Gen 1 Nissan Leaf from top to bottom, and you can do that now. And now they're filling out all the other side things. So they're 50 kilowatt.
Top of the North Island to the bottom of the South Island?
Yep.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and you can do that now. They're probably opening up about one every 2 weeks right now. And they're the VFill 50 kilowatt chargers.
Nice.
And so they're getting there's some government subsidies coming in for certain off the beaten track routes but on the whole most of that's been upfront investment from a private company, so they've single-handedly and that's played into me, and I know probably most people that are now buying EVs are only buying them because that fast charging network's there now, but it wouldn't have been there if it had been left to the government.
And is that the CHAdeMO standard?
We have a lot of CHAdeMOs, even though the official New Zealand standard is CCS2, but we have dual. So all of the VFill stations have both, CHAdeMO on one side, CCS2 on the other. So your Hyundais, the BMWs, the VDubs, all of those new ones coming in are Type 2 CCS, but of course all of the JDM stuff is CHAdeMO. So we'll be supporting CHAdeMO for a very long time.
That's interesting. Good stuff.
Interesting counterpoint to that is I learned that the gas price last week in Florida, $1.99 a gallon.
But you'd have to live in Florida.
Right. Well, there you go.
Yeah, we were 180 something here yesterday, so I don't really pay much attention. But yeah, it's ridiculously cheap. I don't even know how it's that cheap.
Yeah, I'm not going to go there.
Yeah, and Bruce had said $2 a liter, and I said that's $8 a gallon, and I mean it's true, is because for non-scientific reasons, for non-scientific purposes, a liter and a liter and a quart are approximately the same size. A liter is 0.95 quarts. So, in big numbers, it's a huge difference. But when you're just talking 1 gallon, 4 liters, it's approximately the same thing. So, yeah, that's almost $8 a gallon.
Jesus.
Yeah. Well, it was when I was in Iceland a couple months ago, it was over $9 US a gallon. Yeah.
Wow. Hey, John, you still with us?
I'm still here.
Are you doing okay?
I'm doing fine.
Any what drives us memory you want to share?
Oh gosh, you asked me to dig into the vault.
I don't.
The vault or the Volt?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, this is the pre-video days. I think that was the last one that I did. Gosh, what was? I don't even remember what the topic was now.
Yeah, I
bet it was electric cars.
2013, maybe 2013.
Could have been.
Yeah.
Wow.
Honestly, I can't. Yeah.
And oddly enough, I mean, ironically enough, you're still audio only. I mean, how appropriate is that? It's like it meant to be.
Yeah.
Mark Coughlin.
Yes.
I mean, I don't remember. Like, did I approach you or did you approach me?
I approached you and sent you a note and said, you guys talk about the Prius an awful lot. I've got a Volt. I'm happy to talk about the Volt.
Yeah.
And you guys said, yeah, we'd love to have you on the show to talk about the car. And I remember, certainly yourself and Tony and Paul Gusick was on that show. And you guys peppered me with questions and said, yeah, if you would like to come back sometime and take the abuse again, please show up again.
Mm-hmm.
And
I remember that show.
and I said, yeah, I could do it again. So, and that was it, man. I was hooked.
And we asked, do you have to plug it in, right?
Yeah. That was your question, Paul. Yes, it was.
No, I remember we asked Mark to come on for the diversity.
But yeah, I was an avid listener to the show and enjoyed listening to you guys and thought that yeah, I've got an electric vehicle. I'd like to participate. So I kind of invited myself on the show.
I'm so glad you did. And from that, right? I mean, you've been on the show nearly every week, if not every week since then. And then you came up with the idea to do the Tesla show, and we've done that for more than a year now.
Yeah, 76 shows already.
Oh, what the hell?
But yeah, Mark, now that you don't have your Volt anymore, are you going to stop coming on the show?
I still have my Volt, Tony. I haven't gotten rid of it.
He's got two of them.
Yeah, I got one for my daughter and one for myself. So I'm still a Volt guy. Still love the car. Although we got really some sad news this week, as the Volt has been canceled. Basically, they're closing up the Detroit Hamtramck plant where it's being built, and the Volt is going to be no more. Which was really sad news, especially because November sales were the most the Volt has ever sold in a single month.
No one has ever
business decision.
Over 3,900 sold in November in the U.S. alone, the top number they've ever done, and they've canceled it.
Almost 4,000.
Almost 4,000 in 1 month.
Amazing.
Did you
anybody buying? Go ahead, Tony.
Did you read the article as to why they were canceling a lot of vehicles?
Well, yeah, because they're going to now focus on EVs. Is
Wait,
anybody buying that?
to focus on EV.
Yes. And our first order of business is to axe the Volt. Yeah. Now, keep in mind, they have said that they're supposed to be building 20 EVs by 2022, I believe it is.
Was that before or after the cancellation?
I don't know if the 19...
total of 20 or 20 models?
20 models. Now, they have not say where they're going to be available, though. They could be China. They could be North America. We don't know. But, man, it was... Like, everybody knew the Volt was a... kind of a training wheels type thing.
Interim product.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like everybody knew that eventually all battery vehicles would be able to overtake it. And certainly it makes no sense to have dual propulsion systems in a car. It's cheaper to have one propulsion system. But man, once you've owned a Volt and had it, like I hate to see it go. I absolutely love the car. I still do.
Has anyone told Toyota
that?
I'm sorry, Toyota cares about what?
Hydrogen.
Hey, the hydrogen's coming out any day now.
Yeah.
I still think the Volt's going to find, though, that technology is going to find its way in a CUV. The Volt shares the same platform as the Equinox, so I think it's inevitable that it's going to find its way in there.
That would be nice.
Wow.
Be a logical step.
I got to tell you, it was a little surreal standing in the Chevy booth at the LA Auto Show last Wednesday. Just standing there, Chelsea Sexton and I were just kind of taking a little scope.
Oh, wow.
And then I had this sort of realization, and I elbowed Chelsea. I said, Chelsea, everything on that side of the booth is done. It's gone. There's no even reason for it to be here because they're not going to make it. And literally everything in one half of the booth was just like gone.
Wow.
So
especially being there with Chelsea.
Who's seen her product wiped out by General Motors before?
Yeah.
Maybe especially poignant. Sure.
Do they have like a "Beware of this person" sign in all the Chevy booths? She comes up.
I want to tell you that we visited a lot of booths, and Chelsea is probably one of the most recognized and most loved people amongst.
I have no doubt.
I just like being at the auto show with her.
Yeah, I bet that
you could not ask for anything better in the world. Okay. Because I'm just, I'm nobody. I'm this fat dude who has a show once a week on, YouTube. So everybody's like, "Oh, Chelsea, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. Who's your friend?" Yeah.
I bet that was a kick.
Yeah. Now I do have to, I have a shout out and I don't remember his name. I have to find his card, but we're at the Audi booth for the e-tron reveal, the e-tron GT.
Yeah.
And we go through that, blah, blah, blah. And one of Chelsea's friends, because she's worked with Audi fairly closely, comes up and gives her a big hug and goes, "I love your show." And I've been a viewer for a long time. And I was like,
wow,
this is like some vice president at Audi, and I'm like, literally like this, and Chelsea's like elbowing me, like, hey, he said something. You should.
He's talking to you.
Because of the things that people tell me in my life, I've watched your show for a long time. Isn't usually one of them, and it was really nice.
Yeah, or even like Paul said, or even saying something nice about it.
Right.
Especially if they're in the car industry.
You called me an asshole on one of your shows. Yes, I did. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but he's done that to everybody.
Get in line.
Yeah.
So, I mean, being at an auto show at Chelsea, there's nothing better.
You didn't run into Maximum Bob on the floor there?
There was no Bob Lutz there. No, there was no Bob Lutz. Ran into lots of people, met lots of people that I haven't met before. Had a nice time in the Rivian booth. Speaking of auto show, that's a super interesting car.
Is that going to work? Is that going to fly, you think? Give us your guts on it.
My opinion?
Did they say anything about service? Did they say anything about
service? Is the big question.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
No. So there's still a lot of questions that they haven't answered. But in my opinion, so far, Rivian has done a lot of right things, which is they've done a lot of hard work behind the scenes and not had to play in the spotlight. They've just done the work. Yeah. Okay. So now they have prototypes. Now they have things. Now they have a production schedule. Now they're talking about the car. Now they're public. So they haven't done the Aptera, Faraday Future, whatever you want to call, fill in the companies that got way ahead of themselves. Both the truck and the SUV are weird looking, but very, very cool. I want to say that the SUV
put me up on. I've got the webpage.
Yeah, the truck.
In case anybody hasn't heard of it, I mean, this is a kind of a brand new company. They've got an SUV and a pickup truck that they kind of beaten Tesla to the mark so far. They're accepting pre-orders on this pickup. It's about the size of a Ford F-150, a standard size pickup.
It's a full size pickup, yes.
And 0 to 60 in 3 seconds. I mean, for a freaking pickup.
I think it's 3.5, isn't it?
Depends on the model.
The last one's 3 seconds.
At that point, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, it's not again, and I like this.
I don't know, 0 to 60 in 3 seconds, all the lumber's going to fly out the back.
There's a lot of really cool little touches in this vehicle that makes me think that they either have a really talented designer or they're just thinking about this stuff. The tunnel storage thing is really cool. But
very well thought out.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's a very unique looking vehicle. That tunnel storage thing, that gear tunnel, is so cool because not only is it a gear tunnel for like long things, right? Which may not fit in the bed, may not fit in the cab, but here's what's really cool. But it's also a step up and a seat.
Oh, wow. Really?
So it's a step up into the bed and it's a seat.
Yep.
It's I mean,
So you put your guns there, and you don't have to block your rear view with the gun rack and the
Right. Yeah. It has a big frunk too, so
Yeah.
So I'll tell you one of the things.
The gun tunnel.
One of the things that gets me excited about Rivian is that they have been working out of the former iMeave factory in Normal, Illinois, Bloomington Normal.
Right.
So when Mitsubishi stopped making the iMeave and left that factory, Rivian came in, and there
Was
were
that iMeave or wasn't that the Think car?
well,
No, I think it was iMeave.
It was the iMeave.
Oh,
yeah, that factory actually built about 4 or 5 different kinds of Mitsubishis.
okay.
Yeah. And so, yeah, there were people looking for work, and Rivian came in and gave them work. Illinois is hoping to keep them here. It's a good distribution hub because you can get to all coasts equally. And I certainly would like to take the opportunity sometime in the summer to head down and check out their manufacturing if they stay there. So,
Well, we should talk about that because that's one of the things I talk to them about. I definitely want to.
yeah.
This SUV, I feel like this is going to eat Land Rover's lunch.
Really?
It looks like they were targeting Land Rover too.
It is gorgeous. It is huge. It is fast. It is different. I mean,
the big problem, like any startup car company, is dealer network distribution. I mean, what if you buy one in Oregon,
right.
the factory's in Illinois, and it breaks? You know, who's going to fix it?
Yep.
I don't have an answer for that, and they don't either. So I'm kind of okay with that. I'm hoping that's something they're going
There's
to.
there's some side work for the Tesla Rangers.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to say there was an interview or something that I read that said they were looking at somehow insinuating themselves into the existing dealer network.
Right.
Now, that obviously comes with trouble, but it also comes with opportunity. That's what Tesla has decided not to do. And again, opportunity and difficulties. But I think Rivian's doing a lot of the right things.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is nice.
Yeah, I mean the truck and this it's very nice, but not over the top. It's not like they're trying to be flashy with nothing behind them. It's like you said, they've just been quietly developing a really good product.
Yeah. Which is cool. I mean, and I support that. The idea that we can replace a truck and a large SUV with electric vehicles is hugely cool.
Right.
Hugely cool.
And then if Tesla can come out with their truck and have some competition and start the Chevy versus Ford debate in an electric version would be awesome.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The more the merrier. There's lots of Americans, lots of people all over the world, but lots of Americans love trucks. So if we can get 2 electric trucks on the market and give people another choice.
Well, the number one selling car in America is a Ford pickup.
F-150.
Yeah, F-150, yeah.
Yeah, which is...
Yeah, it's similar down here, except they're all Toyotas and Nissan Navaras and things like that. But yeah, we call them Utes down here. But yeah, trucks are the top selling vehicles down here now, so it's insane.
Right,
yeah. So I'm excited about Rivian. I hope to tour that factory, and I want to talk more about their vehicles. And as they get closer to production, it'll be cool to see them hopefully make it. They have some decent money behind them. It's private money, so
Yeah.
Yay! Let's hope. And it's cool. I like it because it's weird.
Once again, I just checked, and Rivian is not going to be at the Chicago Auto Show.
You know why?
Why?
I don't have a comeback. I'm sorry, Tony. Just insert some generic shitty thing for me to say.
Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah.
Hey kids, it's almost 7. I think it's time to do some shout outs and go home. Is that okay? Is there anybody I didn't give a chance to talk to? I'm not hearing anybody say, Russell, you never let me talk. Mark, Paul, okay. I just want to make sure everybody had a chance because there's a lot of you guys there.
Yeah.
Let's do some shout outs. Paul, can I start with you?
Sure.
Thank you.
I'm just going to want to thank Russell for being here all these years and getting us motivated to come on, and it's a lot of his personal time has been given up, and shout out to Russell, and I hope there's another 300.
Yeah.
Here, here, sir. Here, here.
And I'm not going to even talk about my business this week.
Go to boulderhc.com. If you're in Boulder and you have a hybrid or electric car, Paul's the only man to talk to on the Front Range.
You're
How
passing
is that,
through.
Paul?
There you go. All right.
After like 5 years, I finally learned. Mr. Johnson, Mr. Bruce Johnson from New Zealand, do you have any shout outs, sir?
Well, yeah, same thing. Thanks to you for having the show for so many years. And yeah, I suppose the other shout out I've got is to come down to Hobbiton down here, check out the ever increasing EV fleet that we've got down here. And but yeah, if I want to shout out, it would be to ChargeNet down here. As I was saying earlier, amazing company that with a couple have put their millions behind building out the EV network here, and it's having a huge effect. So it's pretty cool to see.
Where about are you, Bruce?
I'm in a little town called Katikati in the Bay of Plenty, so about 2 hours sort of southeast of Auckland, between Auckland and Tauranga.
Okay, so I lived in worked in Hamilton.
Yeah.
For about 5 weeks there.
Yeah. So yeah, that's about an hour and a bit away from here.
All right.
Okay. Eric.
Yes. Thanks again, also Russell and the What
No,
Drives
stop
Us crew
that.
for having
Stop
us
that.
out. And for letting us demonstrate how secretly Canadians are trying to take over the world.
Oh, no doubt. We have Canadians in 2 hemispheres on this show. What the hell?
Just bring your pot and your healthcare, and we'll call it good.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Thank you.
We're home of the
And the Timbits.
And the glow in the dark toonies.
Yes.
we're the true north, strong and free to be high.
There we go. Well, speaking of free to be high, the man with a sword, Dr. Fusco. Have you cut anybody's nose off today?
No, but a shout out to Russell's toe tonight. And shout out to the chat room and all our special guests tonight. We look, maybe we do this more for ourselves. I don't know, but it sure is nice to have an audience that provides feedback and is interested and keeps us kind of inspired to keep going. So we appreciate all you guys.
Well said, sir. Well said. Mr. John B.
Yeah, well, first off, Russell, thanks for having me back.
Of course, you've
been invited for the past
every show.
Every week. I know you do.
I've got presidential things to do.
Yeah, exactly. He just made pot legal in Canada.
Now, there's a joke the new listeners won't get.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. Thanks. It's great to be back. Thanks for everyone who's tuned in to this 300th show. I guess I'll pick up Danny's slang. Head over to Prius Chat. If you want to learn more about the Prius, I guess we've just got a new all-wheel drive version that was announced at the LA Auto Show. Yeah, head over to PriusChat.com. Follow us on Twitter for all the latest and greatest.
Speaking of which, one of us here on this show is going to be in Wisconsin for the first drive of the brand new all-wheel drive 2019 Prius.
You got my tickets? I'm going.
Thanks,
So
Russell.
there's going to be, I'm going to try and do some live video. I'm going to try and do, because this is the first one of these things that isn't under any kind of embargo because they've already made an announcement. So I can talk about this now. I can talk about it as soon as I get there.
So get a drone and then do some donuts in a parking lot for us.
I could bring my drone
Drifting donuts.
Yeah.
In the snow.
in the snow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay. Hopefully I won't get paired up with Wayne Gertis.
Wait,
Thank you, Evan.
Russell, don't you have pull? Don't you have pull with them now?
Not as much as I used to, my man. Not as much as I used to. So yeah, hey, by the way, if you're interested in that new all-wheel drive 2019 Prius, follow us at youtube.com/what drives us. Watch us on Facebook, facebook.com/what drives us. I will be reporting as much as I can, dumping the information directly onto the internet for all of you. So,
and please take it into 6 inches of snow. Tell me how.
I will. I'm definitely, you know what, Paul, I will promise you right now, if there's snow, I'm going to run it into a snowbank and see if I can stop it.
Mount the camera, go through the snow.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I only wish I could join you. Yeah.
And the official answer is they didn't add any more clearance to it?
There is no official answer, but from everything that I've seen, no.
It's going to be a snow plow.
Madness.
Because in Japan, keep in mind, Japan, that
It's a new line of business for you, Paul, man.
Yeah, I mean,
we fix enough front bumpers of
you get a business putting on those snow plows.
Or raising it up.
Lift kit, yeah.
Lift kit.
Yeah, Mark Coughlin saved me.
There's no saving you, Russell. You know that.
Thanks. Thanks.
But Russell, I did want to thank you for taking a chance on a new host to come on the show. I've really enjoyed myself, and I really appreciate the chance to be here. It's been fun, and I hope you continue along and put another 300 shows under the belt.
I definitely want to do another 300 shows. Because this has been, you look at like, just the weirdness of like when you're born and what things you get to see, and if I'd been born 50 years ago, cars were boring as hell. I mean, and I know all the people are like 55 Chevys are the best, but cars were boring as shit 50 years ago. Now cars are cool and cars are weird and they were doing all kinds of great stuff. This is a great time to be involved in transportation. And it's not just cars, it's scooters and motorcycles and everything else. So, yeah, I really want to do this show for another 5 years, 10 years. And with you guys, I will. If you guys leave me, I'm not going to do the show by myself. I'll promise you that. Last and not least, Mr. Schaefer, bring us home.
Yeah, as usual, shout out to everybody in the chat. Thanks, everyone, for joining us once again. I'm not going to go through the list because, again, I tend to forget people. And I am going to jump on the bandwagon. And Russell, I really do want to thank myself for being such an awesome co-host for all these years.
So perfect. Thank you, Tony, for being Mr. What Drives Us. Thank you for thinking of the fucking name. Because if you hadn't come up with this name, it'd be like Wheels Report with Danny and Russell. Oh my God. Nobody. Yeah, we'd have been done after 30 episodes.
Oh, it's been a lot of fun. It's really been a lot of fun, and we've said it several times on the show. We would do it just for ourselves, and I swear to God, for the first 3 years, we did. But it is really nice to know that there are actually people who take the time once a week. And I try to thank everybody for taking the time. And it might sound shallow after a while, but I mean it every single week. I want to thank everyone for keeping us going for 300 shows.
And Bruce, I'm sure that Ford Fairlane is totally awesome. I didn't mean to diss all mid-century cars.
No, you just made me
it's
you got to
just
check that out. It's a power company here who did the conversion. And
oh, cool. I will definitely check it out. Did you guys see that Aston Martin is doing a DV6 retro conversion?
Yep.
That's the bomb, man. Now, I don't have a DV6, so the retro conversion doesn't really help me, but wow, is that cool?
Well, someone's doing the Jag E-Type.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like,
really?
bringing those out now, yeah.
Yeah, that was in the Royal Wedding.
Yeah.
Right.
So that was a prototype or whatever, and now they're going to bring them. They're going to produce those.
They're going to produce it for consumer sales. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
It'll
crazy.
be $500,000 a piece, but
Yeah. Well, you've got the prince's money. Be quiet. So let's see. Let's wrap this up. I want to thank everybody in the chat room. Thank you every week for being there. It's so cool. Thank you so much. Special huge thanks to Eric and Bruce for being viewers and listeners for all these years and for coming on the show and representing the viewers and listeners. You guys should come back on sometime. We should work that out.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'd love to.
I would love to have you back on. You guys are both fun. It'd be great, except for the Canadian thing, which really freaks me out a little bit. I feel like the show's being like it's a coup or something. You know, I'll wake up tomorrow, there'll be like a maple leaf flag.
What's coming for the rest of our country?
Yeah. Which in a sense, really, if Canada took us over, we could do worse. You know,
well, I was actually sent down as a spy from Canada. So.
It's all coming together now.
Yeah,
it's taking years, but it's coming together.
Now I understand why I thought Mark was so nice. As always, I want to thank Michael Manring for our amazing theme music. Michael has been with us on every show.
Yeah,
all 300 shows, and thank you so much to him for letting us use that music for free, because he doesn't have to, he doesn't care, but he's a great guy. So visit him at manthing.com. Visit us at facebook.com/whatdrivesus. Hey, we have a brand new Zazzle store, so if you actually want, and I'm not going to say you need it, but if you want What Drives Us merchandise, we have t-shirts, we have license plate frames, we have coffee cups. I don't know, whatever you want, we'll make it. And it's there. Are the prices high? Oh, hell yes, they are. But that money goes to support the store. Yeah, you know, you're not going to find a $6 t-shirt. Okay. They're expensive, but they're cool. And the money goes to us to help support the show. And we appreciate that. And we need that. So Zazzle.com/whatdrivesus. You can buy all kinds of stuff. And if there's something you want that we don't have, drop me a line. I'll be happy. It's russell@whatdrives.us. Drop me a line. I'll be happy to make it and put it up on the show or put it up on the store. Of course, youtube.com/whatdrivesus. Do subscribe there. We need all those subscribers. Are we still at $6.99?
No, we've gone up.
Yeah! So we've crossed the 700 barrier.
700, yes.
Yay! Thank you, YouTube subscribers. CES told me today that to get into CES, I had to have 1 million subscribers.
Oh my gosh!
What?
Oh, I'm almost there then. Jeez. If I did makeup tutorials, we'd have 1 million subscribers. I can't figure it out. But anyway, and of course, on Twitter @WhatDrivesUs, Patreon.com. If you want to help support the show, we're looking for $20 a month. We're at $14 a month. Just one more person, 2 more, whatever. You can support us for a minimum of $1 a month. Patreon.com/whatdrivesusshow. We need that to help us with our hosting bill. So yeah, we're spending your money on drugs and
Right,
and really mostly on hosting. We don't get any drugs. So.
Yeah.
That's all I got. I want to thank Paul. I want to thank Bruce. I want to thank Eric, Evan, John B, Tony, and Mark for everything. Thank you so much. And of course, thanks to all of you. You guys are the reason we do the show. I mean, we do love each other and hanging out and talking about this stuff, but you make us, you give us a good reason to do it. So thanks again. Hang in there with us. We're going to do some cool stuff coming up. And until then, download us next week and find out what drives us. 300. Tonight we dine in hell. Why Russell isn't a used car salesman? Nice dine all. Nice. Russell. See ya.